Welcome to my channel Learning Electronic Circuits. Today I am going to talk about an important topic in electronics, which is the power supply. I am going to describe what a power supply is, its applications, the different types, specifications, etc. I am also going to briefly describe the LM338 adjustable regulator IC used in power supplies and demonstrate how to construct a power supply based on the LM338 integrated circuit. A power supply is an electrical device that supplies power to an electronic circuit or a load. It converts electric current from the source to a specific voltage, current, and frequency for powering an electronic circuit. Most commonly, power supplies convert alternating current to direct current. It is used in various domestic and consumer appliances and devices. There are equipment that have their own power supply unit built in, whereas there are others that need to be powered from the outside. Apart from converting electric current, the power supply also regulates voltage, limits and cuts off the current drawn by the load during extremes, filters electric noise, high voltage spikes, surges, fluctuations, etc. Most power supplies have an input source connection which takes in power and several output terminals that deliver power to the load. The various power sources are power grid, energy storage device such as batteries and capacitors, solar power, generators, alternators, etc. There are different types of power supplies based on the type of power conversion, such as 1. Linear power supply. This is the most commonly used power supply. The linear power supply utilizes a power transformer to convert the AC voltage to a suitable working voltage. This AC voltage is then rectified using power diodes and filtered using capacitors and inductance, forming a filter network. It may be further regulated by a voltage regulator circuit to provide constant current and to minimize voltage variations. 2. Switch mode power supply. In switch mode power supply, the AC voltage is rectified, filtered and converted to a DC voltage. This DC voltage is switched on and off at high frequency at around 1 kHz to 1 MHz through a high frequency transformer. The high frequency AC voltage at the secondary of the transformer is then rectified and filtered to produce the DC voltage. The output of the SMPS is well regulated with a constant voltage output and with safety features such as current limiting and isolation from the mains voltage. 3. Capacitive power supply. This is a transformerless power supply that utilizes the reactance of the capacitor to reduce the mains voltage to a smaller AC voltage. This smaller AC voltage is then rectified and filtered to get a constant DC voltage. This DC voltage is then used for low power applications. The voltage is not isolated from the AC mains and therefore adequate care must be taken to isolate the electrical components from being exposed. 4. Uninterrupted power supply. It is a type of power supply where the output power is uninterrupted. An uninterrupted power supply is powered from more than one source, such as AC mains, battery, solar power, etc. When there is a failure or shortage of power in the AC main supply, it automatically switches to the other sources such as battery, solar power, generator, etc. An example of an uninterrupted power supply is the computer UPS. Specifications in power supplies. There are certain specifications or attributes related to power supply that determine its usage for various applications. These power supply specifications are 1. Type of input voltage, 2. Voltage and current at the output, 3. Stability of the power supply under varying load conditions, 4. Operating temperature range, 5. Efficiency of the power supply, 6. Short circuit protection, 7. Overcurrent protection, 8. Over voltage protection, and 9. Over temperature protection. A bench power supply is a single standalone power supply unit used to power circuits and devices during the development process. They are mostly linear power supplies that utilize a power transformer, rectifier diodes, filter and regulator. The power regulator used here is the LM338 3-terminal positive voltage regulator. It is available in TO220 and TO3 packages. The features of LM338 power regulator IC are as follows. 1. It has a current carrying capability of around 5 amperes. 2. It provides regulated output voltage range from 1.5 volts to 32 volts. 3. It has a current limiting feature that limits current of up to 12 amperes to be drawn for a short duration of time and thus supports heavy transient loads during startup under full load conditions. 4. It has a thermal overload protection and safe area protection. 5. It has a short circuit protection. Applications for LM338 IC voltage regulator. 1. Adjustable power supply for various applications. 2. Constant current regulators. 3. Battery chargers.